QVC started, this wouldn't even have been a
possible.
glimmer in somebody's eye.
No,
it wasn't even
possible.
possible. It's a good point.
Wasn't possible.
What you are looking at, folks, and I want you to see how thin this thing is, this is the world's finest, fastest heating room heater. That is the ultra-thin portable heater. It is called a microthermic heater. We'll talk about what that is in a second, by Solaris Air. It is V25162. It's priced at only $59.52. More have finally arrived. It's been extremely popular in days past because there is nothing like it on the market. That small, thin thing puts out an amazing amount of heat.
Yes, it does.
It really does.
We're going to demo it. I've got a thermometer on the front where we can show how fast it heats up. I believe it's plugged in. So what we're going to do is we'll just switch it on.
Now watch the heater right here.
If you can watch the heater, it might take a few seconds before the element heats up. But it's what we call microthermic technology. It's a brand new technology. It's cutting edge, and it combines convection heating with a reflective heat. Now, what does that mean? Convection heating is basically what you have in your oven. Okay, it just gets hot. Now, your heat will come out of the top. Okay, and what that does is it creates consistent heat all through the room. The reflective heat comes out of the front and the back of the panel. And the reflective is an infrared, which warms objects and people instantly. So there you're going to get instant heat, and the convection heat will heat consistently throughout the room.
Now for under $60, you can see it's already starting to click up, and it'll start to really go much faster as it gets heated up, because the convection combined with the reflection does a remarkable amount of heating so very quickly. Now what's interesting about this too is this whole panel is the heating panel, and there's not one open hot thing.
There are no hot spots, no, and it doesn't have the glowing radiant like you find in some other heaters. And also, most importantly, we don't use a fan. And the most beneficial part of that is a fan pulls air through, and it kicks up allergens and dust. It also uses a lot of electricity. Okay, this heater will heat maximum heat in 1 minute for half the amount of electricity that other heaters use.
And that's really important.
Yeah, and it's also half the weight. I'm sorry.
When you're thinking about the power bill here,
absolutely.
You're not in every room in the house.
Right.
Why are you heating every room in the house?
Right.
This has two little handles on it. It's easy to pull around. It's very cool. Even though this is getting really hot now, it's really easy to put your hands on, and it's so amazingly lightweight. You can carry that anywhere. It's amazingly lightweight. Yet it's safe. It has an anti-tip mechanism.
Yeah, it's anti-tip. It's 45-degree angle. There's a gyro inside, which will shut it off automatically. It also has an overheat protection. Not that it ever gets hot enough. I mean, I can touch the outside. I don't know what the temperature is. We're at 93 degrees already, and I can put my hands on this with no problem at all. It's what we call cool touch. The heat on top, again, the convection part, there you're not going to get burned either.
And what happens when the heat goes up, it hits the ceiling, comes down around the rest of the room. This is a great way to get through. Keep watching. It's going to keep going up. It'll go up to about 120, 130 degrees set on high. Now, is it thermostatically controlled? Does it automatically run itself?
Well, it's got an internal thermostat. If you can get a shot of the other side here. What you have is a high and low, and it's got an internal thermostat. Now, what you do is you'll turn it up on high, the heater. And when the room temperature reaches a comfort level that you feel is comfortable, you can turn this down.
You back it off.
You back it off, and that's an indicator light. The indicator light will shut off, and it'll cycle on and off as it needs the heat that you require.
In just a couple of minutes, it's already 102 degrees. It's putting out 102 degrees of heat in less than 4 minutes here. About 2.5 minutes. That's how fast it is. And yet, I want you to listen to something.
Silence.
Dead silence. It makes
no
sound whatsoever. There's no fan. It uses convection and reflection to be able to get that heat out there. And as Gary said, convection is like the heat in your oven. It's just hot. And it's not dry heat as much as a fan.
It's not dry heat at all. I mean, actually, the reflective heating maintains the moisture in your room. And that's important, too, because then you don't get the dryness. You don't get the dryness, obviously, for dehydration on your skin.
Now, you can see this is now, what, 107? 107 degrees.
You can still put your hands on it.
Look,
no problem at all.
I'm still putting my hands on here, which means you can put this where you want without worrying about a hot element getting on there. Now, of course, we're not going to say put it right up against drapes and things like that, but if I could put my hands on here at 107, 108 degrees, you have something that's really safe to have around kids and pets. There's no fuel, there's no fumes.
Doesn't burn oxygen, doesn't burn any fuel, there's no fumes. It's very lightweight. It weighs less than 8 pounds. It's on 360-degree caster, so you can move it around efficiently.
And Gary, I got to tell you, they're going very quickly. Again, this is the first time they've had them back. More have finally arrived on it. But if you want the latest technology, the newest, and that's what QVC has done for 20 years. We only have 300 remaining that we started with. We started with 1,600. If you want our number 301, you're going to miss it. Don't be cold this year, whether you're sleeping or working, whatever room in your house you're going to be in. This is where you want to have your Microthermic Soleus Air portable heater. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Bob.
Wonderful, wonderful product. Folks, they're about to sell out. If you want one of these,